Hi, welcome to Indonesia. Today we are going to dive into a magical phenomenon that's happened right here in Indonesia. We are going to talk about an invisible line that splits the world into two different realms of flora and fauna by their different characteristics as if they are coming from different planets. Yep, we are going to talk about the Wallace Line, a natural phenomenon that splits Indonesian archipelago into two unique biogeographic zones. As we are talking in our previous video when we are talking about the Komodo dragons, I mentioned that I'd love to talk more about this, right? So here we are right now, let's explore about the Wallace Line. In the mid-19th centuries, an English naturalist named Alfred Russel Wallace was navigating Indonesian archipelago. Wallace at that time is not only searching for the geographic boundaries of Indonesia, but his mission at that time is to understand the species distribution and evolutionary theory. During this expedition, he collected over 125,000 specimens, which he never seen this species before in the Western world. However, he also discovered that in between Bali and Nusa Tenggara Island, also between Borneo and Sulawesi, there are different species of flora and fauna, with also a different time frame of their evolutionary journey. He makes us realize that there is a biogeographic boundary that he named after himself, the Wallace Line. Well, I can tell every scientist must have such a narcissistic traits over themselves. Okay, back to the Wallace Line. The Wallace observed for the species on the west side of the line have closer similarities to the Asian species, while the species on the east of the line have a closer similarities over the Australian species. The Wallace Line is not a real physical boundary. However, it's just an imaginary line that's separating Asian from the Australian ecosystem. It stretches between this area without any significant physical barriers between this island. Yet the differences in flora and fauna on either side of this line are surely striking. Wallace has noticed that Bali Island and the other island from the west side of the line have a similar mammal species with the Asian type. For example, with my favorite animals like tiger, orangutan, rhinoceros, and siamang is the similar type that's happened in Asian and in Bali also other island in the west side of the line. However, different things happen for the Lombok Island or the other island that on the east side of the line. They have a different type of species which is similar, closer to the Australian species. Like one of my favorites, of course, we have talked about this, the Komodo dragons. But there's also another animals like cockatoos, various marsupials like the wallaby and cassowary. Not only for mammals, but Wallace also observed that the different distribution species for the bird and butterflies between the east line and also the west line. For instance, bird and butterfly species found in Java and Bali surely can't be found anywhere in Lombok and other nearby Nusa Tenggara islands, indicating the existence clear biogeographic boundaries between Bali and Nusa Tenggara. Of course not. So here's the thing. Wallace hypothesized that in the past, the west islands of the Wallace Line, including Sumatra, Java, and Borneo, were connected to the Asian mainland. This connection allowed the migration of the flora and fauna to this island. Thus, the wildlife of the west islands of the Wallace Line have a significant similarities with the wildlife in the Asian. Meanwhile, the east islands of the Wallace Line, like Sulawesi, Nusa Tenggara, and Papua, have a different species distribution because they are more isolated with the Asian mainland. However, they have an historical connection with the Australia, this is a fact the distribution of their species similar to Australian species. At that time, whales was just gathered as the concept of the plate tectonics, which explained the movement of the large plates on the Earth's crust and how this movement affect the surface of the Earth. Then, this concept was developed and widely accepted by the scientist community in the mid of 20th century. The concept of Wallace line then taken as the early pieces of evidence supporting the theory of evolution through natural selection that developed together with Charles Darwin. To answer that question, we have to use a modern scientific understanding. The answer lies in the long ecological and biological factors. Other than that, the question also lies with the habitat differences, creating barriers for species attempting to cross. Species trying to migrate to new areas might face fierce competition from local species that have adapted to the environment over millions of years. Additionally, natural barriers like deep and treacherous sea straits can act as ecological filters. Therefore, even though it might seem easy for us to exchange one species with another species, due to the current geographical proximity, ecological barriers, their behaviors, or even a long history evolution, the things that called as DNA exchange is still very limited or even non-existent. This explains why species on either side of the Wallace line have evolved independently, creating unique and genetically distinct their biodiversity, even though they are geographically close. That's all our discussion today. Wallace line is more than just a boundary. It's like an invitation for us to explore the rich biodiversity of Indonesia. Every island, every forest, and every sea in Indonesia is like a living canvas telling stories about evolution, adaptation, and sustainability. Indonesia is not just home to natural wonders. It's a natural laboratory offering valuable lessons about life itself. Pack your bags and let's explore Indonesia more broadly. On this channel, we will talk more and discuss a lot about Indonesia, starting from Indonesia's treasure that we already created in the previous videos about Gunung Leuser National Park and also Komodo Island. Besides, Indonesia not only rich in terms of the national or natural treasures, we also have a really rich cultural and really diverse food. So, if you have any other topic that you are interested with, or you have any topic that you are curious about, just drop your comment below. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Ciao!